Hello.
Are we on?
We're on.
Oh,
We're on.
Production staff is not letting me know. I'm just sitting here.
I know. You're.
Once again, I'm dumbfounded. Found dumb.
That was pontificating.
I'm daydreaming, and I would expect the staff to kind of let me know when.
Oh yeah.
You don't get that around here.
Slackers. Slackers. This is a. You know what I heard? This would be considered a basement level podcast. That's what I heard. Somebody make a comment about, not ours, because I don't believe ours is basement level. I think we're way too highbrow to be basement.
We are highbrow. We have an international headquarters.
Yeah.
We have staff.
Yep.
We have sponsors that we don't really mention, but they're over there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are things we've got that
we haven't.
have.
They haven't signed all the product placement forms yet. We got to make sure we get all those.
We're
forms.
better looking than Joe Rogan. You know,
Huh? He's always angry. He looks like he's always angry.
I know he could beat us up.
Oh yeah.
But
I would never challenge him to a fight.
that's the reason I would keep it. No. That's the reason we keep.
I wouldn't challenge anybody to a fight. I'm always expecting to get beat up.
That's the reason I keep
the
headquarters doors locked at all times. It's
like the oh man, what are they called? The people that run around at night to make sure you lock your doors.
Terrorists?
No. They're doing a public service. They're just making sure, like in the neighborhoods, that all the doors are locked.
A neighborhood watch that's a little bit more personal.
Yeah, they really like to go through your stuff if you leave it open.
If you leave it open, they take things just to let you know that you left the door open.
Sometimes they might leave them down the street.
That's
the stuff. But sometimes they won't.
You know who I wish had been left down the street?
Oh man,
Joe Biden. But I'm not going to mention it.
Joe Biden.
Over in Europe last week, they made a big deal about him talking to Rootin' Tootin' Putin.
Yeah.
And I think Rootin' Tootin' Putin ate his lunch. We just aren't allowed to know about it because his staff. You know, Joe Biden's staff, when he starts to answer questions to reporters, have you noticed that when he's trying to mumble, and the staff around, unlike our staff, they are all screaming at him. Stop! All right, we gotta move on. Got to move on.
I've heard him say a lot of times how he says, "No, I'm going to get in trouble."
I'm going to get in trouble.
With the staff.
The man's the president of the United States. And apparently his chief of staff. I don't know the guys. I forgot the guy's name, but apparently he's.
I don't know.
I think he's the one that's calling all the shots, because it's certainly not Kamala Harris. She can't even get down to the border in Texas. Now she can go to Guatemala.
Yeah.
And she can go to Mexico, but she can't get to the Texas border. And,
I wish I could. I can't wait for 20 years from now to watch the History Channel to see what was really going on right now.
Well, 20 years from now, I still hope I have a mind.
Yeah. Oh, you'll be around. With technology the way that it is,
maybe I'll be kept alive through electrodes.
That's right. Yeah. You might be a little less animated.
I don't know.
But there might be a screen. You could be more animated.
I could be animated. I just won't make any logical sense. You'll just have me over here mumbling,
like
and
Joe
you can
Biden.
tell folks, it'll be like Joe Biden.
Maybe.
But
here's a conspiracy. Let me throw this out there.
Oh.
Area 51. They've been working on all this stuff to create the fact that that nobody's trying to die. So maybe Joe has been an experiment.
It failed.
And he
died.
Well, it's working. He's
walking,
and
he's an animatronic from Disney.
Didn't say it was working well.
It
said it was working.
It's
you got to work the bugs out.
He gives Rootin' Tootin' Putin. We don't know that. He comes out saying, I handled it. We're not going to have any more hacking through the computers. He says, I gave Rootin' Tootin' Putin a list of 16 industries that he can't touch.
I'm laughing because this is so sad and depressing. Because it's
really
disturbing.
Does that mean the other 150 million companies in the United States are open? They can be hacked. But these 16 cannot.
No, that's the 16 that he's going. He's going to go after.
He'll go after. Well, he'll go
Or
after
maybe-
them after he gets the others.
Maybe this was a sleight of hands. Like he gave him that 16 to say, "Hey, don't mess with this." And Putin's like, "Oh, we're going after that." And then Biden's over there laughing like, "Sucker."
It's like you're forcing a
Yeah.
fish into a narrow channel to catch it.
Kind of that, or the Statue of Liberty. Remember that playing football?
The rope and dope play?
Is that what y'all
No,
call
no,
that?
it was a Statue of Liberty.
The quarterback's going
He's
back
going
for a
back,
pass,
but he's
Yep,
not really passing.
and he drops it.
And,
Tailback runs
I like
around.
It. I like it. I can see that, but Joe
That never
Biden's not
worked.
that smart.
That play never worked. We
It-
used to practice that all the time.
well, it
never
worked back in the 30s.
Oh,
Yeah. it
whenever
did.
somebody, they just started passing back then.
That's why it worked.
Oh,
It worked.
it works for, okay.
That with the Notre Dame box. Did you ever see the Notre Dame box?
Is that the wishbone?
No,
I mean,
but it's
you know the
it's-
wishbone. You know what
it's-
I'm talking
yeah, I
about?
know what the wishbone is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Wishbone's deadly.
You'll do a YouTube search of the Notre Dame box because it's really kind of they set, and then before they hike, four players move. It's really interesting,
Huh.
and it would throw the defenses off back then.
because they wouldn't know. Should I follow these guys over there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The defense back then was, I'm
Yeah.
staying in my place. Why are you moving?
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of funny to watch the old Notre Dame
old
box. And
Dame box.
it's interesting. Now, I did not personally watch any Notre Dame boxes.
Sure.
I didn't watch any football games back in the 30s.
They didn't have those electrodes keeping
I was not.
later.
I may be old, but I'm just not that old.
Time is really relevant. I mean, irrelevant.
Your body doesn't say that.
I know.
You know, after all, I have two holes in my head.
Yeah. We got more than that.
Well, I'm talking artificial.
Oh, artificial.
Artificial
Gotcha.
holes that were man-made. Anyway, so he's over there telling
Let's
them.
get-
He says, "You can't handle these 16 are set free, but
Yeah.
the rest of the United States is wide open for hacking." And then the other thing I don't understand, he's over there letting Rootin' Tootin' Putin finish the pipeline to Germany so they can have oil, natural gas supplied from Russia.
Maybe he's trying to do like an olive branch kind of
Okay.
thing.
All right, olive branch it. Now, Germany and Russia and Europe as a whole can have a pipeline. But
Okay.
he cancels the Keystone pipeline here in the United States.
Oh yeah.
So-
but I mean, I can tell you why that happens.
Oh, okay. Explain it to me.
That's easy. Because the United States is not a complete socialist Marxist country yet, and they're trying to make it really painful on everybody, so they turn that way. Maybe that's too simple. Sorry.
Actually, your explanation is right on target.
I just pulled that out.
I just kind of wish I thought of that myself.
Well, I think that's how you. If we'd like to get into let's do like a philosophical approach to why people embrace Marxism, because that's the thing that I don't think people know. So a long time ago, many episodes ago, I started looking into Marx because I had no idea about it. I didn't know who he was.
I pushed that on you, didn't I?
Well, yeah, you kind of you made it so painful that I wanted to learn about it. Now,
Marxism is painful.
well, not in the beginning. In the beginning, it's like the answer to all the problems until you follow it all the way through to the implementation. And I think that's where people may distort the where you end up after. So I was listening to something. It was a story about Cannibal Island. You ever heard the story about Cannibal? I had never heard that. That was a very troubling story. Well, I mean, anything that has the word cannibal in it doesn't sound good. But that was like so, and they were given an example of how Cannibal Island and how that is like one of your applications of the Marxist idea. And when we think about American ideals and capitalism and freedom of choice and all these other things, it's completely opposite of the implementation of Marxism.
Marxism works for the people in charge.
Yeah.
Everybody else, the other 99% of the population, really become slaves to the Marxist system.
Right.
And it's
But that's why you have so many people jockeying for that.
to be in charge.
To be in, if they're not in charge, to be in. That's why you see a lot of those. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe obviously I'm on the wrong side because I don't agree with it. But maybe it's the people that try. Okay, anecdotal, for instance, there was a Black Lives Matter march through this community, and there's these really well-to-do. I would probably say liberal. I would go out on a branch to say liberal white guys that are up there in their apartment, and they're screaming, yeah, yeah, yeah. And all of a sudden a brick goes through their window. And they start screaming, wait, we support you.
We're on your side.
But like that's I don't know where identity politics and the tribalism part and Marxism all kind of get mixed up in the gumbo, I guess. But it's divisive, where the American ideals, or what people are starting to say, like the bad white man colonial ideas, they're really not. They may have been even. I don't even know if I could say they were started all by white people, but they were started by people that believed in a freedom, and a freedom of.
I don't really know
I've had too much energy drink. I'm sorry.
Yeah, bang. It's hit it with a bang.
We don't get any money for this advertising.
Yeah, I'm too old to drink that. I don't know where all that originated, but I do know that it's this critical race theory. Everybody identifying everyone else as something that's really bad is the opposite of what things used to be. I think we recognize that people had differences, but there was not so much hate. Mm-hmm. And I believe the hate that has grown over the past few years has really become untenable for our nation. Just today, this morning, I was watching something on television, and there was someone, I forgot the person's name, but they were somewhere high in the social strata that their name would mean something, but I can't remember who it is. Wants to change the American flag. They showed the American flag with different colored stars, and to represent our country. You had white stars, black stars,
red and yellow,
brown
black
stars.
and white.
Well, they didn't have the yellow or red. They were all black, white, or brown stars. That's what I saw on television.
Okay, yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, so the next thing they'll want to do is change the name of our country.
Oh.
So we
slippery slope.
It's an old slippery slope that I think that you've got to recognize that you cannot continue to have all this anarchy and believe things are going to be okay tomorrow because everyone is demanding so much. Portland, Oregon, their entire police riot force resigned the other day because they said, no, we're not going to do that anymore. You're not supporting the police. And it didn't mean that they quit the police force.
No, they just
quit the
Like
riot detail.
I just go into parking. Yeah, I just want to do the
I
parking lot.
I go to my garage and look, that guy's getting robbed. And then the other day they were showing this.
It's turning back into the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like we're regressing. All these progressive thoughts
these socialistic thoughts
are making us regress, and
that's part of their revolution.
Right.
Part of the revolution, make things so unhappy, unwieldy, and you just have to go that way.
And you have to have somebody to step in, and who steps in?
The people that control it.
Mr. Government, or
Mr. Rootin' Tootin' Bootin'.
Or they're going to say Uncle Sam. That's what's going to be messed up. Because what's going to, this is my
Prognostication.
Soothsaying, or
Prognostication. Oh,
I'm looking into the future, and I see
an aura.
I see something that's scary if it
I do
continues
too. I'm looking at it.
that way. It's gonna be if you know, cause you got to be able to follow this where it's gonna go, and to think about it so you can try to avoid things is kind of like the way that I view this, is where if they have to come in and you make it painful enough to where you have to have a savior, and that's where Uncle Sam comes in.
Well, there's a lot to be said about that, and something struck my chord as you were saying that. Your aura went right through me, and it sparked something.
Struck a chord.
It hurt. It almost hurt. A chord. I don't know if it was an F or a G chord, but you struck a chord.
Diminished.
And no, that's my capacity.
Oh,
That's nothing to do with the chord.
Okay.
Come back.
I like an A minor. I really like A
But,
minor.
when
That's a good one.
B
Sorry.
flat's not so bad.
I digress.
Anyway, when you think about it, big things happen with small representations. Our nation was established 250 years ago. The revolution itself, you had about a third of the population that were revolutionaries. They didn't want to be a part of it. There was a third of the population that wanted to remain with England, and there was a third of the population that says, "Can't you guys just get away?
Everybody just stop and leave me alone."
Leave me alone."
That was me.
So, see, well, I was in the revolutionary part,
Right.
and that's what happened here. You got these little small spots of things that are blowing up. Portland, Washington, the state of Washington. What's going on in Minnesota, Minneapolis, in that area.
Yeah.
All these little pockets of anarchy.
Yeah.
Could lead to something that we don't want if you don't control it to some extent or recognize what it's all about. You can't just let it go and think, well, nothing's going to happen. We'll just let this go. No, that's the way things get really
I wonder if
messed up.
I wonder if this is all the fault of the 80s, like the 1980s. I
think so. I think maybe more of the fault of the 60s in the
yeah, well, the 60s. And I don't, because I wasn't born in the 60s, but I just remember and I guess maybe every generation thinks like, these yahoos screwed it all up for everybody else. And so, not that I don't know, I felt like the earth, since humans have been walking around trying to get along with each other, they've been a state of perpetual war,
revolution,
struggle, fighting, always, like ideas. And
it could be in our genetic code to some extent, but
that's what some people say with the tribal stuff.
Don't it?
Yeah. And so whenever you have cultures, tribes that meet, that have never met before, you probably are going to have some conflict. You'll probably have some good things.
Well, yeah, and thus, kings, queens, rulers to some extent came into existence basically to keep things under control.
Yeah.
And we came about. We were the first true democratic republic that came on the scene, and of course, everybody in Europe thought it was going to fail.
Yeah.
But they thought it was going to fail within 10 years. They didn't think 250 years down the road. And
right. And you think of like 250 years, the amount of advancements from when you have people that are able to be free and I don't know, the freedom of choice, innovation, all the things that were possible. Because if you've got the overreaching government, and I've got the idea to make I don't know, think of an invention, and then there's people that are just like, no.
Oh, telephone.
You can't do that unless it's like government sanctioned and subsidized, and then like it's red tape and things go slower.
Go slow, cost more.
Everything goes slower and costs more when government's involved, because everybody needs their what's his name? Rogan I saw a clip lately. He just made a headline because he mentioned the fact that all of the people that are on the roll or the dole for helping the homeless problem are all making six figures. And so, like, it's just like a big money scam. It's like, dude, everybody's donating all this money, but all the people that are involved at the upper levels, they're all making a ton of money off helping the homeless camp. But then what they do is they build all these little camps everywhere for the homeless to go live in and then tear up.
You know, the lady that started Black Lives Matter became an instant bazillionaire. She purchased
Hey, look,
3 or 4 huge homes.
if this catches on and we become millionaires, we're not taking any of it. We're putting it all back. I'm just putting that out there. I'm just saying.
We are?
We don't want any money at all.
We don't?
No, nothing. I don't want to take a dime. Well, a few dimes. But then, maybe we'll have to figure out the percent. We'll just have to talk about this off camera.
I'm
I think I
going
threw
to
that.
talk to staff.
I think I threw that.
I want to talk to the producer.
No, everybody here is working for free. Yeah, no, they're not. They're not.
I know you and I are at the moment.
Well, since we're,
But
we have to get used to this Marxist system.
I was trying to be a little entrepreneurial about it.
No.
Just don't ask me to spell it.
No, everything's going to go to the government. If we get anything, it'll all go in taxes or services. So we might be filming episodes from the farm that we're working on.
Well, actually, a prison farm.
Yeah,
Prison farm. That's
Cannibal Island.
Cannibal Island. They'll
I'm
send us
gonna
to
lose
North
it.
Korea.
I'm going to lose a ton of weight so nobody can eat me. So nobody will want to eat. Right now, I'm somewhat of a feast. I'm kind of a
Well,
feast. For
if that doesn't encourage you to go keto,
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna go keto. I'm gonna go.
keto weight.
I'm gonna go
Watchers.
Christian Bale. What's that guy? Didn't he shrivel away?
What
Yeah.
was that movie that Matthew McConaughey lost a ton of weight? He looked so ill.
Oh yeah,
I forgot the name of the movie, but
Yeah.
it was some drug related.
that's some. Do you call that character acting? That's good character acting. When you get into character so much. Well, that's what happened to what's his name? Jim Carrey. Everybody said that he went nuts after Man on the Moon. That movie about
what's his face who's crazy.
who was kind of nuts.
I forgot that guy's name. I'm
Oh,
having a bad
man.
name day today. I'm having
know.
a bad. I think it's the weather.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
The weather is
See, and this thing's supposed to be like potent brain and body fuel, but I'm not catching a lot of.
speak of the devil.
Well, I'm not getting a lot of brain fuel.
Well,
So anyway, yeah, I think he got so into the character that he became kind of a little.
Putin.
Uh-oh.
Did you need Bruce yet?
That's it.
Putin over in Europe. America is back. America. I didn't know America was gone. He kept saying America is back.
Who did? Putin?
Biden.
Oh.
America is back, and I said, "Well, yeah, we're back to the 1970s."
I think Putin said, I think Putin was calling out how bad America was.
did.
Which is sad. I mean,
Okay, look at this. Okay, all right. I'll be rootin' tootin'
I feel
putin'.
like I'm in an abusive relationship.
Biden after the summit, which didn't go as long as it was planned for, because
He had to take a nap.
diminished capacity could only allow him to go so far,
Yeah.
and so I'm sure
He
they
needs to
finally
get one of
realized
those Tesla batteries.
he lost some charge,
Huh.
and I'm glad. Remind me of Tesla battery in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, they end the summit.
Those are helpful. for
What's
the
his face?
environment.
Biden goes out for his interview with the press, and he speaks for a few minutes, and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then Rootin' Tootin' Bootin' on his own goes to his own press conference.
Yeah,
in
they
the
did them
past,
separate.
in the past, he always had the president and the president of Russia or whoever else
Yeah.
standing side by side.
There's
taking questions.
no way that the United States staff or whoever buys
We're going to let Putin
we're
get
gonna
back.
we're gonna let them do
way.
that.
And because Putin had his own hour-long, I think even more than that, hour-long press conference afterwards, he chewed America and it was. He showed that Biden was outgunned.
He didn't have a cute card. I saw the card that he had. Like
the key cards,
the close-up cards
yeah,
that were all about Trump.
Yeah, how bad Trump is and how bad Trump's economy was.
If people can't see, I mean, even and me always feeling like I've been more center than anything. It's just kind of like a.
You're seeing it. You're recognizing it.
My eyes are open, and I'm thinking like, wow, well, all these other people, they're just not. They're either willfully. Oh, I don't know. That's the scary part, because you talk about some scary stuff, which is thankful for all this. I've started to look into history and the way things happened, and whenever you think about, let's say, a guard that worked at those prison camps back in World War II, or Germany or Russia, like the people, everyday people, like you don't think of them as really bad people, but people are capable of doing some really horrible things if someone in their mind is evil and is just an evil creature, even though they're also a person, because we're all kind of connected. We've all got the same DNA. We shouldn't be fighting like this.
You think after eons of existence that it would kind of, but maybe it'll take another million years before we. Of course, society will start all over. But here's another thought I had. And this is deep. This is deep thoughts. Electric cars, electric trucks.
Yeah,
they're always talking about, well, that's what we're going for,
right? Because they are better for the environment.
They
are. Do you know how many kids die mining for those lithium batteries? I mean, I don't know that that's better for the environment, but I mean, I don't know how in China. Too. I don't know how many kids die from that, but I've heard, and I've never been there. Maybe we should go on a expedition.
No, if we go into China, they're going to kill us.
I don't really want to leave.
I'm not leaving the confines of our international headquarters with the doors locked.
Yeah, no, you're right, because it's not safe.
It's not safe.
Even if I'm worried about this video getting out.
Well, let me tell you about what my thought was in electric cars.
Yeah,
I was doing reading about them and all that kind of stuff. And you have an electric car, nice, great, super. You have 600 or 1,000 pounds of battery at the base of your car, which you'll have to replace in a couple of years.
Which is dangerous.
Where are they going to have all the waste going for bazillions of batteries with lead and acid? Well, where's all that going?
Hey, think about the hoverboards that were blowing up in the garages just because you have them plugged up too long. Like, those are small batteries.
That's a small battery. Okay.
This scares the crap out of me.
Do you have air conditioning in electric cars?
Yeah, probably.
And heat. That is going to draw so much current.
Oh, heat does.
Heat would draw current out the wazoo. So I hear these electric cars have no heat. So what are they going to do up north when it's wintertime and they're stuck on the interstate?
Maybe the heat from the battery. Maybe they have radiant heaters.
That's not what I've read in anything about electric cars.
I don't know anything about electric cars.
And how about us here in Louisiana? You get stuck just getting stuck in the Baton Rouge on the interstate at a rush hour, or when there's an accident and it backs things up for hours. You're on the interstate.
I'm no electrical engineer, but does it pull more energy to cool or to heat? I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Somebody comment. Any electrical engineer?
Yeah, I'd like to know that answer.
My
guess would be that I would think it would be heat.
I think you're right, but I don't know. But I think that the people working on these and creating these are a lot smarter than we are.
I'm sure they are. I think it's possible.
But like on the overall, when you
They
take
may
a
be
step
forced
back,
into making these
well, they
things,
might
though.
be up in the bubble a little too, and they're thinking, and they're innovating, and they are. I'm all for it, but it's when the argument goes, well, they're better for the environment, but they don't address how do you charge these things. Now, if you charge them with nuclear power, I'm all for nuclear power, because if like we're gonna have non-binary people running around, then we should have nuclear sized deer to hunt. I'm talking a 30-foot. You know
Look
what
at
I'm
the rack
saying?
on that puppy. I'm not sure I'd want to be in the stand with. I want to be hiding.
You would adapt. You would start. But they would make bazookas. You'd be okay to have a bazooka to go deer hunting then.
Well, yeah, but how many
You know
rounds?
how
How many
exciting-
rounds of a bazooka do I get?
Well, the deer, he's still gonna run. He's not gonna be like a predator.
Well,
but
I won't explode.
but-
I won't exploding.
I don't want a 30-foot tiger running around. Maybe we should be selective.
How do we get from electric cars to your 30-foot deer?
I'm just saying.
I think.
Oh, no.
But anyway, that's one of my concerns. Okay, you got these beautiful electric cars, and you're stuck on the interstate, like on the Whiskey Bay, because of something, and you're going to be stuck out there for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah,
Where are you going to charge your car then?
I got it because I saw this. I
Uh-huh.
saw a Tesla repair truck right around, actually 500 feet from here. I was leaving and I pull out and I see a big truck and it's got Tesla on the back. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Okay, now if you're stuck 3 miles back on Whiskey Bay,
But
how's it going to get to you?
Here's the kicker. The service road.
Well, and plus there are thousands of other electric vehicles in front of you.
Yeah, but I mean, eventually he'll get there. But the beauty of the Tesla repair truck, it was a Ford.
Really?
It
was a diesel.
If I'm lying, I'm dying.
It was a diesel Ford.
No, it wasn't a diesel. It was just like a 6-cylinder too.
Oh,
It was a
man.
piece of junk. I'm nothing against 6-cylinder Fords, but they are
that should
junk.
tell you that should tell
They are
you
crap.
right there exactly what I'm thinking about electric vehicles.
If I can find the photo, I'll try to superimpose it
on a link or whatever
Like,
you do.
I don't know if I might have to blur out the license plate. But I'm telling you, I was laughing because a friend's got a Tesla, and I sent him that picture, and I was like, man, I know what happens
That is
whenever y'all
exact-
break down. They
Where-
call Ford.
Where does he go to get it repaired?
Oh, you gotta bring it. You gotta bring
Take
it
to California.
No, places. Well, I mean,
You have to ship it on a
you have
gas
to-
vehicle to California. Would you fix my electric
But-
vehicle?
So the transition from fossil fuels to electric is not going to be overnight. And it's not going to be easy. And there's going to be some little, I'm
Al
giving you
Gore,
the devil's advocate.
What-
It's whenever those,
That's the problem. Too many people do the devil's advocate and say that's okay.
oh, and then the devil's in charge.
The devil's in charge. So you got to recognize, no, electric cars they're just not really feasible right now. You shouldn't force them on people.
It's weird when you try to force it on the population, because that's strange whenever you try, when powers in charge try to force anything on a population, like the Democratic Republic you're talking about. That's because that system was set up so everybody could come together to agree on it as a whole. Not that one body was going to not that California was going to tell Ohio what to do, or New York was going to tell Texas what to do. It's just kind of like everybody has to get together and it's like, no, we don't agree with that. And you know what happens? Sometimes a lot of nothing.
That's exactly what happened.
Which is not a bad thing.
Which is a good thing. Limited government is good.
Not if you're getting, you're not happy.
Well, see, that's the problem. Is that
Then
having a split House, Senate, President, sometimes it's not a bad deal because it keeps things keeps bad things from happening.
nobody likes a lame duck, right?
Well, the people that want everything don't like lame ducks, but
I like all the politicians that I hear. They're always, I'm going to get things done. We're going to work I'm going to work for you, and I'm going to get things done. And and I'm always thinking, no, we don't want you to do anything. Just not go do anything.
Just sit in that chair and just don't do anything.
Why don't you stay around your local area and help somebody around there?
Start trying to lay laws down on everything. It just gums up the works. Big time.
I do my part. I try to clean up the grocery store baskets whenever I'm at the grocery store. Like I'll go and grab a bunch of buggies and I bring them in.
I usually bring mine back.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't do it for any other thing. Like I shouldn't even say it, but I just like that's kind of been like a habit I've been trying to get into.
You're a good man.
Like no, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not. I'm just trying to remember. All the bad things that I've done, I'm trying to do things that are going to be
a good deed here and a good deed there.
Catching up.
They all add up.
Yeah. Eating healthy.
I hope you live a long time. Oh, well, we ought to let the people go, I bet.
All right, it was good.
Did we have enough time?
I think we hit on everything.
I think we hit on so many things. I don't even know what we hit on.
I don't either.
I do know we talked about rootin' tootin' Putin and Joe Biden.
Yeah, Biden.
But they need to be talked about.
He's
the thing that you really need to worry
scary.
about is don't worry about so much about Russia as you need to really worry about China. China is really the
I don't think that. I don't know. I'm worried about America.
Well,
I mean, I'm worried about us just ripping each other apart because that seems to be the thing to do. Like everybody's mad about. I don't know. It's not really. There's no. It's really sad.
It is sad, and it wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past entities within Russia and within China to incite those types of situations and take advantage of our freedom and think that our freedoms really makes us weak.
Yeah.
Where the realities are, the freedoms that we have, we should cherish because they actually make us stronger if you would just recognize some of these outside influences that are.
And you know what? Here's one. I'm going to tell you a story I'm really not proud of.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I was young.
I hope you could. Well, I don't know how many buggies you're going to bring in on this one.
This is the problem. This is why I'm bringing all these buggies in. There was a fight on a playground at school, and I was not in the fight, but I was on the outside of the fight, pushing and hitting to keep the fight going.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not proud of it at all. In fact, that's one less thing that I have to. And I got in trouble for it, and I got sent to the principal's office. And I got, I don't remember what. I was little, but I remember that, and I remember getting in trouble for it, and I remember thinking about like, what a jerk I was for doing that.
You were young.
I was young and stupid, and I think like when you're young, you are stupid, and you learn as you grow up. So there's a thing where I've heard a guy say that, you're not your best self at name a number, 17, 24. You've got time to get better, and you always should be trying to get better. But I remember that point. And the point of that story is when you have infighting, you will have people that will try to instigate that, to create that, and to make it even worse than it really needs to be. And there shouldn't have, maybe the conflict could have been, resolved.
So is what I was saying, like I said earlier, you have these small groups that are causing all these fires that ultimately they could really do harm if you don't pay attention to these little small fires on the side that you don't think amount to much.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. It's good to be mindful of how much of an idiot I was. Thank you for letting me share.
That's a good story. I think you're going to have to do about 10 shopping trips on that one.
I'm going to go to the grocery store after I leave.
Matter of fact, I'm going to stop at the store on the way home, and I'm going to do some, and I'm going to ask that they be put into your pile.
And you just go take a bunch of carts.
I'm just going to put them in the charge and put them back in there. And I'm going to take them back in and say, these are for Russell because man needs help.
Oh man, I do need help.
We all need help.
Y'all have a great week. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.